What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing great. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the differences between, $45,000 facility manager and a six-figure plus. So I've been getting a lot of emails and questions about what are the best certifications to go after, what should I focus on, what trade should I pick, what is required to be, a better facility manager, so on and so forth. So the first thing I would say is you have all of the resources at your disposal currently, and what I like to do is pick a job board. In this case, it's Indeed. I don't have any preference for them. I don't know them. I just they're a pretty pervasive company out there that's widely used by a lot of people. So use whatever ones you like. Second, remember that the higher up you go, things change a little bit. And so sometimes the fun can be taken away from it. I'll never forget a meeting that we had when we were just doing a build out of a restaurant. And the person at the time said that they wanted to build out a, five-star, five diamond, Michelin starred restaurant. And the guy that came in, who was the consultant, said, I'm looking around at your restaurant right now, and I'm noticing that your chefs are happy, people are laughing. I hear a little bit of music in the background, and just so you know, if you become this starred restaurant, that all of that's going to have to go away. So you're not going to be able to hear this music. People aren't going to be able to be overheard joking. It's going to be a very serious atmosphere. All these other things, right? And granted, that's not necessarily true 100% of the time, but if you look at your career as you go higher up and you go from a technician to a supervisor, from supervisor to manager, and hopefully one day you'll be maybe a director of a department, regional, national, global, whatever. I hope you go as high as you possibly can. But your personality will have to change along with that, right? It's no longer going to be joking with the team in the field, swearing as you're fixing cast iron pipes that are leaking above you. Making kind of crass shop jokes. Like, that's all going to go away as you're the director of certain things, the one enforcing policies and procedures. So my point is, make sure it's what you really want. And money is fantastic. It's like oxygen. You need it to survive, unfortunately. But there is consequence that comes with it, right? Sometimes there's a target on your back. There's a lot of different pressure. And you have to mind your P's and Q's a lot more. Maybe you're presenting to boards and other governing bodies, the cities, regulatory, so on and so forth. So, yeah, just weigh all these things out is all I'm saying. All right, so let's get into it. So for those of you who are looking to advance your career, what steps should you take? What should you focus on? So I picked three random companies that I happened to find online. And again, I don't know them. I'm not picking on them, but I just wanted to kind of share, what they were looking for from a job detail standpoint. So I'll look at, this company right here in Minnesota. And right here, I'll move this over there. It'll cover exactly what it is that they're looking for. So as you go through the job details, tells you their pay, it gives you kind of the blueprint on what you would need to work there. Let's see if I can open this in a new window and zoom in a little bit. Gosh, I'm having all sorts of problems. Let's move that back. All right, so the main responsibilities of this person. Maintain and manage their headquarters. I think that's a general statement for any facility manager. Tool inventory management. So tool inventory management, again, I think that's somewhat of a standard practice there. However, you are going to be responsible for physically checking in and out tools. You're going to be replacing the barcodes, and you're going to be labeling things. So there's a lot of hands-on work here. Responsible for inventory control, entering in data. Again, you're going to be the doer. So it looks like you're going to be, offloading trucks and helping with crews and trailers. You are going to be participating in meetings. You're going to be on call. I'm not going to go verbatim for you here, but just to kind of give you an idea. I don't see any specific certifications that they're looking for. So it looks like experience at this point in the industry, and then some light inventory. All right, let's move on to the second one. This one, it pays quite a bit more, about twice as much. Again, I don't know these people. I've just pulled them up online. So already you can see that the paragraphs are longer. They've spent probably twice as much time building this. So there's twice the salary, twice that. Kind of gives you a overview of that. You're going to assume the responsibility for all the routine and non-routine PMs. Again, I think that's expected. Collaborate with vendors, including but not limited to, and then it lists all those out. So if you're managing vendors, you're also terminating vendors, you're soliciting new bids, you're reviewing bids, you're doing performance evaluations, you're probably having to, confirm receipt of certain things and quality control. So there's a lot more management per se. So already I can tell that, there's the word manage throughout here as a keyword several times. So rather than the physical hands on the equipment being the doer, you're going to be the manager of that. So as you continue to go down, you're going to be doing floor space. So floor space is a huge thing right now, especially since the advent of what happened a few years ago. Making sure you're checking occupancy levels. Are you hot desking? Are you bench desking? Are people getting their own assigned desk? What are the ins and outs of your office right now, the ebbs and flows? Do you have the real estate to do it? Do you know your average head count per day, your available floor space, and then kind of doing that desk layout? So depending on what's happening, that's a lot more admin and management time. So what can you do there? Really by and large, unless you have an architectural background, the thing I would do is look up CAD software, CAD layouts, where you can actually start superimposing, furniture assemblies and doing these spatial plannings and layouts. So any sort of CAD software out there, whatever your preference is, take up some online classes with that and get great at that. As you keep going down, badge access control. So again, something you can look up online. HID probably offers some certification you might be able to pursue. Developing policies and procedures, so on and so forth. Yeah. Any certifications? No. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it right at the beginning. OSHA. So again, occupational safety is huge in any industry. And I don't think you can over certify yourself when it comes to people and safe practices, whether it's working with equipment, on a ladder, or just personal protective gear on whatever it is they're doing. Being able to recognize that is part of a manager's role. And remember, people don't quit bad jobs, they quit bad managers. So I haven't seen any leadership development yet, but maybe that's in the next one. So don't be a shitty manager. All right, here we go. This one pays even more than the previous one. Certifications, job details. Let's see. Here's a big, background on the company. Here's their technology. Here's their base salary. Okay, so again, you're responsible for the mechanical maintenance. Pretty standard there. So I guess the through line so far would be looking up, I don't know, there's a certification, preventative maintenance, best practices, what you can find out on that, kind of go down that rabbit hole. Management of the inventory. So as you get deeper and deeper, right, before you were the person doing it at that entry level position for $45K, and now you're the one responsible for managing it. So what type of policies, procedures, check in, check out, what software do you use? Do you barcode it? How is your bin management? How is your inventory in general, etc. So certainly look online to see what you can find from a inventory control, inventory management aspect. A lot of times people who are on finance have a really good understanding of that. There's a lot of different softwares out there, SAP, to mention one of them. But again, figure that out. Submit and manage your yearly department budgets. That's huge. For those of you who don't have a lot of experience with managing budgets and creating budgets, one of the first places to start is in your own organization. So if you have, I'd say 15 or more people, chances are you have someone in accounting. What I would do is find that person and ask if you can cross-train with them once a month, once every couple weeks at some regular cadence that works for everybody. But The point being, start to learn the finance lingo so that you can speak this. And they're going to talk a lot about capital expenditure. They're going to talk about budgeting, short, medium, long-term goals, headcount, forecasting. A lot of these things that will help you 10x throughout your career. So the more you learn on the accounting side, the better. As you keep going down, oh, there you go. It says provide long-term direction for the maintenance department. So developing plans, and again, that's going to speak from short, medium, and long-term, and understanding your equipment, your life condition, the life conditions, and then kind of associating specific value with each one of those. Value meaning if you have older pieces of equipment that require a lot of service hours, what value can you assign to that? When's it going to need to be replaced? How many hours are you going to need to maintain that? How much money is that going to cost? And then what's the phasing period, right? Is this going to draw down to where you replace all the components? Are you going to replace the unit entirely? Is there a better thing to swap out with? Is it a systemic issue, right? So looking at this thing geometrically, there's probably a lot you can unpack there. As you continue to go down, here we go. We hit another keyword, OSHA. So again, for those of you who have done OSHA 10, OSHA 30, I think there's even an OSHA 100, it's mind-numbingly difficult to sit through just because it can be so mundane, and watching people getting run over by a forklift or almost is, it doesn't happen. That would actually make it more exciting, but looking at all these different scenarios, it's painstakingly boring, but very, very valuable. So for anybody out there, I would say OSHA is certainly a great thing to go after. All right, and then coordinating the overall planning and execution of the plant. So again, that's another working with your mind, less with your hands, and then thinking about data-driven metrics and what's running these, and then how can you assign people to all these. Again, your personal experience coupled with help from finance and other people will help you put these pen to paper and develop something like this. I'll kind of keep going through here, but it looks like HS&E. I have to imagine that's health, safety, and maybe environmental. Has to be something like that. So again, it's sort of related, a cousin of OSHA, but finding anything you can about OSHA and HSE sounds like it would be really, really worth your while. So, all right, well, what's the point of all this? So the point is there's blueprints out there, there's playbooks out there for you to follow. If somebody's earning a wage that you're aspiring to, there's no reason that you can't look online to one of these job boards, pull the data that you need, kind of copy and paste that recipe for yourself and say, okay, great. All the keywords I'm finding in these are, OSHA, management, inventory, something I would take that wasn't necessarily in here would be like a leadership development class, management in general, business management, understanding opportunity costs, inflection points on things so that you understand, all right, if I have a team member and he's paid $30 an hour and we lost a component that cost $50 and he spends 2 hours looking for it, what was the opportunity cost there, right? What was the point of diminishing returns, so on and so forth. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and if you need any more information on things, but I hope this answers a lot of the emails I've been getting lately about what things to focus on. Where should you begin? Well, begin in your own company. Look to your own people for resources, resourcefulness, right? You probably have a lot of very talented folks that you work with. Pick their brain. Schedule one-on-ones. Call it like a level up program and just say, hey, I want to sit with you. I want to go over these things. Here's what I want to work on. You probably have some really great managers. Say, hey, can you help me with a management, training? What would you do if you were me? Same thing with finance. Hey, can I sit with you for an hour every 2 weeks to kind of go over budgets and understand how this works, and receivables and accounts payable and labor transfers, whatever it might be going on. And other departments that maybe there's another person in your organization that is really heavy with vendors and they know how to manage contracts and get on the approved vendor list, and a lot of these kind of corporate lingo bingo terms out there that will help you. So I hope this helps, and if there's anything else, just leave a comment, send me an email, and I hope you have a great day.